Hello and welcome to Tech Hub. I am Kenneth Akan. We have an interesting show for you today. As you know, technology is no longer just a tool. It is the backbone of customer engagement, powering personalized experiences, smooth interactions, and instant solutions. From cutting-edge AI-driven customer service, tech is transforming how businesses attract, retain, and delight their customers. Today we're discussing the role of technology in driving customer satisfaction. But first, we'll bring you two trending stories and we'll go right into the subject for today. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching Tech Hub, the TV show for all things tech in Africa. We're bringing you two trending stories right now. First is the fact that the Nigerian Communications Satellite, NICOMSAT Limited, has announced the Space Tech Hackathon and Very Small Aperture Terminal VSAT training program in northwest Nigeria, scheduled to take place in Dutse, Jigawa State from April 7th to 11th, 2025. The initiative aims to empower young Nigerians, including university students, startups, and local innovators with skills in satellite technology and broadband connectivity. Participants will engage in a 5-day hackathon to address community challenges and develop ideas, and create prototypes using advanced satellite technologies. The winning team will join the NICOMSAT Accelerator Program Cohort 2025 for further project development. Additionally, 100 youth will receive hands-on training in VSAT installation, enhancing their job prospects and entrepreneurial opportunity in the ICT sector. And to our second trending story today is Servicom. Servicom has launched a citizens' electronic feedback portal aimed at improving government service delivery across ministries, departments, and agencies. The portal allows citizens to provide feedback on their experiences with government services, whether complaints or commendation. It operates on 3 levels: citizens' feedback, MDA response, and Servicom oversight, ensuring accountability and improved service delivery. Servicom National Coordinator Mrs. Nina Aka-Jameli emphasized the platform's role in fostering real-time engagement between the public and service providers. This initiative is part of Nigeria's broader effort under the OGP, which includes developing service charters and increasing citizens' participation. Servicom will also plans to extend its reach to state levels and integrates the feedback mechanism into MDA processes to strengthen the connection between the government and the citizens. When we come back, we'll begin to discuss the role of technology in driving customer satisfaction. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching Tech Hub, the TV show for all things tech in Africa. We have an interesting guest today to discuss a very topical issue. Whether you're running a small startup or managing a global software as a service enterprise, one thing is clear: keeping your customers happy isn't just good business, it's the foundation of success. But how do you go from simply generating leads to building an unshakable loyalty with your customers? Our guest today is an expert who will shed light on the strategies, challenges, and future of tech-powered customer satisfaction. Abeken Cornelius, thank you for joining us on the show today.
You're welcome, Kenneth. Good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon, viewers across Nigeria.
All right, let's dive right into it. How is technology revolutionizing the way businesses approach customer satisfaction?
Okay, cool. In customer satisfaction, there are critical steps that businesses need to take to transform initial leads to loyal customers. And some of these steps are inclusive of lead nurturing. So you need to engage your prospect through valuable content, email sequences, and follow-ups. You need to keep them in tabs, keep them in sync with all communications from your brand identity down to the final conversion. Then personalization, okay. Tailoring experiences based on customers' preference and behavior. These are some of the critical steps that are important in getting leads to become a loyal partner for your business. Then seamless onboarding, consistent engagement, and loyalty program. These are the most basic steps that are needed to actually move from just being a lead to actually being a loyal customer. So there are critical steps that are needed in converting leads to become potential loyal customers for a brand. And these steps are very, very important in terms of lead nurturing, personalization, seamless onboarding, consistent engagement, and loyalty programs. Customers are the major backbone for tech businesses across Nigeria and Africa. Without customers, no tech establishment can exist. And for us to be able to exist potentially and move Pan-Africa, you need to have a loyalty scheme or a loyalty focus in the sense that these customers can become a retainer. So let's consider the old or traditional method of customer engagement before the advancement of tech. Before, customer engagement was very, very slow in the sense that you do not have direct access to your customers, to your potential leads, and even your potential buyers. But in the technological space today, we have several tools that have come and businesses have leveraged on them that can enable them have direct access to their potential customers who will in turn become their loyal leads majorly. So some of these platforms include, we have the CRM platform, we have social media platforms, and we have so many customer engagement platforms that gives you direct access to these leads. So making the process very seamless, easy, and direct to your customers. Yep.
Well, that's interesting too. So we're now in the age of personalization and AI-driven experiences. How can businesses leverage technology such as AI now to offer these tailored services? So let's say in banking, in governance, even in education. How can we use artificial intelligence to drive a more personal experiences and also customer satisfaction?
All right, thank you. So just like you mentioned earlier on in one of the news headlines, Servicecom has created a platform where citizens can now engage with the government directly to give feedback on their services and their performances. This is an aspect of customer engagement, number one. So to leverage on AI and the latest trends in technologies, businesses are now adapting chatbots that are AI-driven. So we have businesses that have chatbots that are active 24/7 in a week. So whenever you're having discrepancies, whenever you're having challenges, you can reach out to them. A very good example is, let's take the case of Access Bank. I am having a challenge in a transaction. All I need to do is to escalate that matter via their mobile app with AI-powered chatbots, sending them inquiries, discrepancies, and all sorts of concerns that I have. In that sense, we are bringing down the burden or the stress of customers having access to good services, yeah? So it will make them have direct contact with the entity without having to go through the traditional means of going to the bank physically, having to go and fill the form and lodge a complaint majorly. So that is it. Yeah, Kenneth.
All right, that's interesting to know. So now let's discuss the role of feedback in enhancing satisfaction. How important, first of all, is constant customer feedback in shaping how a business satisfies their customers? How important is the role of feedback, and what mechanism can be used to garner feedback from customers?
Okay, so in terms of feedbacks are very important to businesses in the technological space because you might have features or bugs or errors on the platforms where these users are engaging with your brand. Let's take, for instance, an e-commerce platform where I can go on to purchase maybe groceries or something, and I noticed that at the cash out point there is no way to make payments. So you see that this is a major blocker to ensuring seamless transaction, ensuring seamless customer interaction with the platform. So feedbacks are very, very, very important, and no business can do without that. So in terms of feedback to the businesses, they help them come up with new ideas, come up with new technologies, and come up with tailored solutions that best satisfy their customers at hand. And avenues where you can actually get feedbacks are numerous. You must have seen survey forms online, people engaging with survey forms, sending out rate the experience you're having with this platform on some apps, some website, and the like of them. These are actually customer feedback methods. These are the methods that you can actually use to get feedbacks in the tech space majorly. Yeah.
Let's bring this conversation a little bit back home now. Let's look at the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, the FCCPC. They're supposed to be a body that helps Nigerians protect them when they make purchases, or they're in the interest of the general populace. And sometimes when people make complaints to organizations like the FCCPC, it seems to be that since they are a government agencies, they are always on the side of the government. Let me give you an example. Say there's not been power in an estate for a long time, and the residents are interfacing with the distribution holdcos and distribution companies, discos. There's not been any fruitful outcome, and they escalate this to the FCCPC. But the situation is very manual and can be very frustrating. What would you suggest should be an ideal situation where Nigerians can pick up their devices and electronically interact with the FCCPC, painting a situation, maybe there are drop-down buttons? So what do you think the ideal situation should be?
Okay. So in this case, or in this scenario, you notice that the FCCPC actually have a website, and all you need to do in this scenario is to actually log on to the website. From there, you will see an inquiry bot or a chat bot where you can actually give feedbacks or make inquiries or escalate issues like this. Apart from that, most businesses have social media platform now. Even in the government space, I know even the president has a social media handle. So these are also platforms that you can actually engage with organizations like this to air your concerns, to air the discrepancies, or escalate problems that are beyond your power in handling. So customer feedback, making channels like this available is very, very important. Even in the government aspect, they do have platforms that enable us to reach out to them majorly. You can also reach out via emails and the likes of them to send feedbacks, inquiries, or escalate issues.
What are some common pitfalls businesses should look out for, should avoid when integrating technology into their customer satisfaction strategy? So let's just, a case in point, businesses in the southern part of Nigeria might adopt a certain kind of technology because of the savviness of the residents in this clime. But when you go up north, say in the northeast region, where even banking services, they consume more USSD, what should businesses in those areas look out for when incorporating or integrating digital technology to satisfy their customers there?
All right. Earlier on, while we were discussing, I actually made a point about personalization. This is being able to meet your potential buyers at the very bare minimum. Let's say in quotes, in the layman language. Most banks now actually encourage their staffs to communicate in the language that is best understood by the potential buyer. Because in lead qualification, we actually need to make sure that we come to the level of the buyer at hand. So let's say, for instance, now Alhaji Aminu in Kano has about 20 million naira that he needs to deposit. After depositing it, he noticed that there was no alert or no notification to show that that money has been credited or deposited into his account. He doesn't need to travel back to the bank to make a complaint. All he needs to do is to go up to his application or website, and there is a language feature where you can either switch the language on the interface to English, Hausa, Igbo, or Yoruba. So this personalization helps us to meet customer at their very point of need. And personalization varies across different regions in Nigeria, Pan-Africa, and globally. So personalization is very, 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 very important, and is a point that should not be neglected in ensuring that we have loyal customers, loyal leads, and creating a solid relationship.
Let me take you up there on personalization. For businesses that are just about to begin on this journey in using digital technology to satisfy their customers, where can they start from? What is the most basic grounds they can start on to take on that journey on personalization?
All right. Just like I mentioned earlier on, the world is becoming a global village, and the power of social media cannot be overemphasized. We have tools that can enable you onboard your businesses easily, and you can take, for instance, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and the likes of it. If you notice, most people that have discrepancies, you can see them posting about it on Twitter and the likes of it, tagging those accounts or tagging the businesses at hand. So for a startup, for a business that is just coming into the tech space or trying to get a digital platform that will be good for customer feedback and engagement, make use of social media. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the likes of them. You can never go wrong with these profiles. And you need to make sure that your profiles are beefed up, have a good information about you. And some people even go as far as adding a personalized contact for the business, emails that you can reach out to them. So this breaks the barrier or breaks the longer process it takes to actually engage with a customer service team of a particular business or enterprise.
Let's look at the future. Can you share any insights or trends that businesses should focus on to stay ahead in this tech-driven era?
Okay, so in terms of customer engagement, just like I mentioned, social media is very, very important, cannot be emphasized. So leveraging on the latest trends, latest ideas that are coming on social media can help an entity boost their credibility and also customer engagement here. Make sure you're up to date there. Make sure you keep eyes on the latest trends, latest challenges, latest insights in the social media space. I think this is the best that you can do for a startup or an entry-level organization.
I'm thinking of something you just mentioned, and we know in terms of personalizations, we have some businesses, some maybe financial organizations now, or maybe internet service providers, or maybe television stations and cable TV stations that have actual call centers. So you have customer centers or customer support or customer experience centers where if you have complaints about their service, you just pick up your phone, dial and reach out to someone. Sometimes you could be on the phone endlessly for hours waiting to speak to an actual human being. And we're seeing the evolution of artificial intelligence. Do you see a time coming where we will no longer have human interaction and it will be all artificial intelligence?
Of course, Kenneth, and for sure I can tell you that the time is now. So many companies, so many businesses are already leveraging on the importance of AI and making their chat box fully automated with AI. So you don't need to spend hours, spend minutes on a phone call trying to speak to a live person or a live customer service representative. With the advance of AI, most companies already have menus on their chatbots that can help you meet your particular challenge, meet your particular discrepancy at a particular level. So these chatbots are fully AI driven and can enable you get to the root of your problem immediately without waiting for phone calls. And just like I mentioned, the time is now. Most businesses have started engaging with AI to leverage on that and ensure seamless customer service.
That's fantastic. Cornelius, Christopher, thank you very much for joining us on the show today. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll begin to wrap up the show. Stay with us.
While we've had our challenges as a country, we've had startups that have grown to become unicorns. At the forefront of this is Eventive. In the last 5 years, we've consistently convened platforms like these that are expected to bring together stakeholders within Nigeria's tech ecosystem. We launched the idea of Lagos Tech Fest with a key focus of bringing together players and, of course, everyone working across various verticals of Nigeria's tech ecosystem. And we've had the pleasure of doing that in the last 5 years. And beyond just Lagos, we also tend to ensure we can bring together the entirety of Africa's tech ecosystem. This spurred us into launching Africa FinTech Live in Kenya, Africa Tech Forum in Kigali, FinTech Without Borders Forum in London, and later this year we are launching Payment Live in Johannesburg.
Considering the kind of challenges we have in Nigeria and Africa as a whole, we have a lot of resources in abundance, but we also have a lot of challenges. We can't use the conventional methods of addressing those challenges, which means we have to innovate, and we have to bring in new technologies to address these problems. We have sun in abundance, solar energy is growing, the price is crashing every single day, it's becoming more affordable. But we also need solutions that are tailored to our environment, where we encourage our locals to be part of the innovation ecosystem, also support them with policies, with funding, and with collaborations, so that we see a prosperous Africa.
We're used to banks throwing slogans about swift transfer around, and then it's just gibberish reports you get. Affordability, transparency, and security that has been the challenge facing cross-border payments within organization or even outside, whether inbound or outbound, a concern for ecosystem players.
And what are these fintechs doing? They are supporting small businesses, they are supporting governments, they are supporting institutions with technology that makes things better. So what we have seen that some countries are doing is that the regulator in one country is collaborating with another regulator in another country, such that if I have a license in this country, I don't necessarily have to go through a hurdle of getting a license in another African country. That makes innovation faster. I'm able to scale and carry out cross-border activities. So that is one trend that we hope can can expand across Africa and improve innovation in Africa?
For me, technology is clearly something that is extremely exciting and something that can be very valuable and is a big leveler for many people who just want to take the opportunity to use it, right? To go and try and learn and better themselves. So it's exciting and it's great. I think when you come to my world, which is fintech, you have to be a little bit more cautious, because in the world of fintech, there has to be some kind of regulation.
Welcome back. You're watching Tech Hub. We've had a fantastic conversation today with our guests discussing the role of technology in satisfying customers. And of course, we cannot do without mentioning the fact that AI is here to stay. AI will help a lot of businesses to be able to satisfy their customers. But without data, AI cannot properly function. So it's important as a business owner to begin to gather enough information about your customers so you can actually be able to predict when they would need your service, how they need your service, how often, and be able to satisfy them thoroughly. We had a wonderful guest on the show today. I'm sure you had value for your time. That's a wrap on what we can do today on Tech Hub. Remember to join us same time next week for another exciting edition of the show. My name is Kenneth Akan, and I say bye for now.